Admiral Rax stood on the bridge of the Galactic Alliance flagship Inevitable Victory, watching the small blue planet through the viewscreen. Earth, a primitive world with a species that had barely managed interplanetary travel. Their defenses are minimal, reported Commander Vel, his secondary tentacles flickering across the tactical display. Mostly automated systems. Nothing that can withstand our fleet. Rax's mouth flaps curled in what his species considered a smile. The Council was concerned about these humans. Reports indicated unusual adaptability. Respectfully, Admiral, those reports were exaggerated, Vel replied. Their military relies heavily on autonomous weapons and AI. Predictable. Programmable. Lieutenant Dell, the intelligence officer, cleared her throat. Our scans indicate their most advanced military installation is located here. She pointed to a landmass. They call it Pentagon. Standard hierarchical command structure. Good. Rax nodded. We'll disable their communications first, then their automated defense grid. Without their machines, they'll surrender within hours. The invasion began precisely as planned. The Alliance ships deployed their electromagnetic pulse weapons, carefully calibrated to disable Earth's technology, while preserving the planet's habitability. Within minutes, power grids across the planet's surface flickered and died. First phase complete, Vel reported with professional satisfaction. Their satellite networks are offline. Global communications disrupted. Excellent. Begin the second phase, ordered Rax. The invasion force descended toward strategic locations around the planet. The Admiral watched the deployment screens, monitoring the hundreds of landing crafts heading toward military bases, government centers, and power facilities. Sir, Dell's voice carried a note of confusion. We're picking up unusual readings from Sector 7. Elaborate. Rax commanded, irritation evident in his tone. It appears some of their systems are coming back online. But that's impossible. Our EMP should have. An alarm blared, then another, and another. Multiple ships reporting unexpected resistance. Vel announced, his tentacles moving frantically across the controls. Landing teams encountering non-standard countermeasures. Rax moved to the tactical display. Explain. Some of their technology appears hardened against our disruption techniques, and they're improvising, sir, using outdated analog systems. Mechanical contraptions. Things our intelligence indicated they had long abandoned. A communication officer interrupted. Sir, we're detecting numerous small craft launching from the surface. They don't match any known human military vessel in our database. Impossible, Rax muttered. Their spacecraft capabilities were assessed as minimal. The view screen switched to show dozens of hastily modified aircraft and ground vehicles, some appearing to be civilian transports refitted with makeshift weapons. They were targeting the invasion ships using tactics that followed no recognizable military doctrine. They're using unpredictable attack patterns, Vel observed with growing concern. And some of our ships report mechanical traps, primitive but effective. Rax watched as one of their landing craft was caught in a simple net mechanism that shouldn't have worked against their advanced propulsion systems. Yet somehow it did. How are they coordinating without their communication networks? Dell wondered aloud. As if in answer, signal flares shot up from Earth's surface, followed by reflected light patterns from mirrors, and even smoke signals from multiple locations. They've reverted to pre-technological communication methods, Rax realized, his confidence wavering for the first time. We prepared to fight their machines, but not their ingenuity, Vel finished quietly. As reports of unexpected resistance flooded in from all sectors, Admiral Rax faced an unpleasant realization. The Galactic Alliance had made a critical error in their assessment. They had analyzed human technology, studied their military doctrine, mapped their defense systems, but had completely underestimated what happened when humans were backed into a corner. The invasion that was supposed to last hours was now facing an uncertain outcome, and it was just the beginning. 3 days into what should have been a simple occupation, Admiral Rax paced the command deck. The situation map before him displayed an increasingly chaotic battlefield. "Another supply depot hit," Commander Vell reported wearily. "Same pattern. Small team, minimal technology, maximum disruption." "How are they finding our locations?" Rax demanded. "We're using cloaking technology beyond their detection capabilities." Lieutenant Dell pulled up surveillance footage. "They're using dogs, sir, and birds, living creatures trained to react to our presence. Our cloaking technology doesn't mask scent or disrupt air currents." Rax stared at the footage of humans using animals as detection systems. Such a primitive approach shouldn't work against advanced technology, yet somehow it did. General Torm, the ground forces commander, joined the briefing via hologram. His usually impeccable uniform was disheveled, and a bandage covered one eye stalk. "The humans are forming resistance cells faster than we can track them," Torm reported. "They're not following any known insurgency protocols. Each group operates differently." "What about the human military leaders we captured?" Rax asked. "They've been unusually unhelpful," Torm admitted. "And the civilians are worse. A group of what our intelligence identified as high school science teachers managed to create an explosive that damaged 3 of our walkers." Dell brought up another report. "We've identified a pattern in their counteroffensive. They're targeting our automated systems preferentially. They seem to understand that our troops rely heavily on AI tactical guidance." "They're learning," Vell said quietly, "adapting to our methods faster than our algorithms can adapt to theirs." A communications officer interrupted. "Sir, we're receiving scattered reports of humans cooperating with our malfunctioning units." "Explain," demanded Rax. "Some of our autonomous combat units were damaged rather than destroyed. The humans have somehow reprogrammed them. They're turning our own technology against us, but with unpredictable modifications." On the view screen, footage showed an Alliance robotic walker now painted with bright colors and modified with scavenged parts, fighting alongside humans against its former allies. "How is this possible?" Rax whispered. "Their technological capability is centuries behind ours." "It's not about their technology," Dell realized. "It's their approach. They don't think like our engineers. They don't follow optimization protocols or efficiency algorithms. They improvise." General Torm's hologram flickered. "The damage to our command structure is escalating. We've lost contact with the Eastern Seaboard forces, and the humans have started broadcasting music." "Music," Rax repeated incredulously. "Ancient war songs, across all frequencies. It's disrupting our communication encryption. And," Torm hesitated, "it's affecting troop morale. The unpredictability is causing stress reactions among our soldiers." Rax turned to the tactical display where red indicators of resistance multiplied across the planet's surface. What had begun as isolated pockets of defiance was becoming a coordinated global response, yet without any discernible central command. "Their strength isn't in their military might," Vell observed. "It's in their adaptability, their creativity under pressure." Rax had led 17 successful planetary conquests, all against species more technologically advanced than humans. None had offered this level of resistance. "The Council warned us," he admitted finally. "Humans don't follow logical patterns when threatened. They innovate. They improvise. They transform." Outside the flagship's viewports, Earth's night side came into view. Instead of darkness, thousands of bonfires dotted the landscape, a primitive but effective way for humans to communicate their continued resistance. 2 weeks into the conflict, Rax found himself in the unthinkable position of considering a strategic withdrawal. His attention focused on a disturbing new development displayed on the main view screen. "Confirm this intelligence," he ordered, gesturing at the footage of humans working alongside what appeared to be their own artificial intelligence systems, systems that should have been disabled by the initial EMP attack. "Confirmed, Admiral," Dell replied. "They've established a new paradigm of operation. The humans are providing creative direction and ethical frameworks, while their AI systems handle computational tasks and data analysis. The footage showed humans sketching plans on paper, which were then fed into jury-rigged computers, where AI systems optimized the designs. Human intuition combined with machine precision. This shouldn't be possible. Vel protested. Their AI infrastructure was centralized. We destroyed it in the first wave. Apparently not, Dell countered. They had been developing decentralized AI systems, small localized units that could function independently. When we knocked out their main networks, these systems adapted. Rax watched the screens intently. But there's something else happening. The interaction pattern is unusual. It's a true collaboration, Dell explained. Not humans commanding machines or machines controlling humans. They're working as equals. Their AIs appear to have been designed with complementary capabilities rather than replacement capabilities. On the screen, a human team was visible testing a device that interfered with Alliance shield harmonics, technology they shouldn't have been able to understand, let alone counter. This facility was a research university before the invasion, Dell continued. They've paired quantum physicists with their AI systems to reverse engineer our technology at an accelerated rate. Commander Vel studied another report. We're seeing this pattern globally. Human creativity identifying problems, AI systems rapidly iterating solutions, humans implementing and improving those solutions in ways the AI wouldn't have predicted. It's symbiotic, Rax realized. Our intelligence indicated they feared their AI would replace them, that they would become dependent. Instead they built partnership systems, Dell finished. Their AIs aren't trying to be human or replace humans. They're designed to enhance human capabilities. The tactical display updated, showing a new wave of counter-offensives against Alliance positions. Each attack demonstrated sophisticated planning combined with unpredictable execution, the hallmarks of this human-AI collaboration. They're targeting our predictive systems, Vel noted. Our combat AI relies on pattern recognition, but they're deliberately introducing randomness into their tactics. A junior officer approached with another report. Sir, we've detected a new communication network. It's using human brainwave patterns as encryption keys. Rax's tendrils twitched in disbelief. Explain. They've developed a system where their AI translates intentions from neural interfaces, but the encryption is based on emotional states and creative thought patterns. Our decryption systems can't break it because it's not using logical algorithms. On the monitor, human resistance fighters moved with increasing coordination, sharing information through a network that Alliance technology couldn't penetrate. They've turned our greatest advantage against us, Rax said softly. We relied on automation and algorithmic warfare. They've transcended it with something more powerful, genuine collaboration between human and artificial intelligence. 1 month into what should have been a simple conquest, Admiral Rax found himself attending an emergency council transmission. The projected figures of the Galactic Alliance leadership flickered before him, their expressions ranging from concern to outright hostile. Your reports indicate a comprehensive failure to secure key industrial centers, High Counselor Mav stated, her tone icy. Explain how a pre-interstellar species has maintained manufacturing capabilities despite our technological superiority. Rax gestured to Lieutenant Dell, who activated a holographic display. The humans have reorganized their entire industrial base in ways our strategic models fail to anticipate. The display showed footage of former entertainment venues, sports arenas, and even religious buildings converted into production facilities. Humans of all ages worked in coordinated groups, using a mixture of advanced technology, salvaged Alliance equipment, and surprisingly effective handcrafted tools. They've decentralized everything, Dell explained. When we targeted their massive factories and production centers, they shifted to thousands of smaller operations distributed across their population. Our bombing algorithms can't prioritize targets when everything has become a potential workshop. Commander Vel highlighted a specific location. This building was identified as a community theater in our pre-invasion database. Now it produces communication equipment using components manufactured in 50 different locations. No single strike can disable their supply chain. But the productivity should be insufficient, argued another counselor. Distributed manufacturing is inherently inefficient. Under normal parameters, yes, Dell admitted. But the humans have implemented what they call a maker culture. Skills are shared rapidly through demonstration and mentorship. It preserved enough of their information network to distribute digital designs, which are then adapted to local resources and capabilities. The footage showed elderly humans teaching younger ones traditional crafting skills, which were then applied to modern or even alliance-derived technology. Children collected materials. Artists redesigned tools for better usability. Former office workers coordinated logistics. Everyone contributes according to their abilities, Vell noted with reluctant admiration. Their society has completely reorganized around resistance production. Most concerning, added Dell, is their morale. Our psychological warfare models predicted deteriorating human mental health under invasion conditions. Instead, we're seeing the opposite. Their sense of purpose and community has strengthened. The hologram shifted to show humans celebrating small victories, sharing meals, and supporting each other, all while continuing their resistance efforts. They call it meaningful work, Dell continued. Their productivity doesn't come from automation or efficiency algorithms, but from personal investment in the outcome. They're fighting for their world, their families, their future. No artificial motivation system can replicate that commitment. Rax stepped forward. The Alliance has always believed that advanced civilizations progress toward automation, with biological beings focused on leisure and consumption. Humans have demonstrated an alternative model, one where technology enhances meaningful work rather than replaces it. The council members exchanged troubled glances, and this model has proven effective. High Counselor Mav asked carefully. Devastatingly so, Rax confirmed. Our forces continue to lose ground. The humans have found ways to contribute that no algorithm would have assigned them. Former entertainment performers become inspiring leaders. Gardeners develop camouflage techniques. Chefs create fuel alternatives from cooking byproducts. Their strength, Vell concluded, is that they've maintained the purpose and dignity of work while embracing technological advancement. Not replacing humans, but empowering them. As the Council digested this information, Rax reflected on an uncomfortable truth. The Alliance's assumption that progress meant the elimination of biological labor had been fundamentally challenged. The humans had instead created a future where their unique capabilities remained central, a future where they continued to thrive precisely because they hadn't surrendered their essential role in their own civilization. 6 weeks into the conflict, Admiral Rax stood before the Alliance War Council, now convened an emergency session aboard his flagship. The mood was somber as he presented the latest analysis. The humans have developed a systematic approach to countering our technological advantages, Rax explained, displaying tactical data from recent engagements. They've moved beyond reactive defense to proactive subversion of our systems. The display showed humans deliberately feeding misinformation to Alliance surveillance, creating false patterns to bait AI-driven responses, then exploiting the predictable reactions. They're thinking in terms of our algorithms, Lieutenant Dell elaborated. Understanding how our systems process data, then manipulating the inputs to produce desired outputs. They're hacking our decision-making processes without ever touching our code. Commander Vell brought up footage of a recent Alliance defeat. This engagement demonstrates their approach. They established a pattern of retreating when outnumbered 3-1. Our tactical AI learned this pattern and committed significant forces when detecting similar conditions. Except this time, it was a trap, Rax finished. They understood that our AI would recognize and predict based on past behavior. Precisely, Vell confirmed. They sacrificed short-term victories to establish patterns, then deliberately broke those patterns at critical moments. They're playing a longer game than our systems are designed to recognize. A strategic officer displayed a global map showing Alliance territory steadily shrinking. They're applying similar principles at the strategic level, creating decoy supply lines, false command centers, phantom force concentrations, all calibrated to how our analysis systems prioritize targets. But how are they developing these counter-strategies so quickly? Demanded one of the council members. Their technological capabilities remain inferior. They're leveraging a different kind of intelligence, Dell explained. They formed diverse teams combining multiple disciplines, military strategists working alongside game designers, behavioral psychologists, and even fiction authors. The display showed one such team, an unlikely mixture of professionals analyzing alliance behavior patterns and developing countermeasures. Fiction authors, another council member asked incredulously. People who specialize in creating unexpected narrative turns, Dell clarified. They think in terms of subverting expectations, precisely what's needed against predictive algorithms. Rax stepped forward. The humans have recognized a fundamental truth. While our technology processes information faster, their biological cognition still possesses advantages in creative leaps, intuitive connections, and especially in understanding other minds. They're staying ahead of the curve by continually changing the curve, Vell added. Our systems learn and adapt, but along predictable trajectories. The humans deliberately introduce cognitive diversity to generate solutions no single intelligence framework would develop. The display showed numerous examples. Alliance drones confused by simple optical illusions, precision targeting systems thrown off by unexpected environmental modifications, logistical AI rerouting critical supplies into ambushes based on subtly manipulated data patterns. Most concerning, Dell continued, they're now applying this understanding to our non-military systems. They've identified that our entire approach to conquest follows algorithmic patterns, and they're exploiting those patterns systematically. Rax nodded solemnly. The Alliance has optimized for efficiency and consistency across thousands of worlds. Those very qualities have become vulnerabilities against an adversary that embraces variability and creative disruption. The council members fell silent, contemplating the implications. For millennia, the Alliance had believed technological advancement would inevitably outpace biological evolution. The humans were demonstrating that biology, especially minds shaped by the need to understand other minds, retained crucial advantages. They're not just defending their world, Rax concluded. They're presenting an existential challenge to our conception of progress. The premise that artificial systems will inevitably surpass biological intelligence is being fundamentally tested. As the discussion continued, Rax reflected on the irony. The Alliance had invaded Earth confident in their technological superiority, only to discover that the true contest wasn't between technologies at all. It was between fundamentally different approaches to intelligence itself. 2 months into the invasion, Admiral Rax faced an unprecedented situation. For the first time in his military career, he initiated contact with resistance leaders, not to discuss surrender terms, but to explore the possibility of dialogue. The meeting location was a neutralized zone in what humans called Switzerland, a region with historical significance for diplomatic negotiations. Rax arrived with a minimal security detail, as specified in the carefully negotiated arrangements. Admiral, Commander Vell warned as they approached the meeting site, this could be an elaborate trap. If it were, Rax replied quietly, we would already be under attack. The humans understand something we're only beginning to grasp. There are victories beyond military conquest. The meeting room was simple but dignified. 3 human representatives waited. General Marcus, a military strategist who had orchestrated several decisive counteroffensives. Dr. Emily, a xenobiologist who had studied Alliance physiology to develop non-lethal deterrence. And Tom, introduced simply as a teacher with no apparent military or scientific credentials. After formal introductions, Rax addressed the humans directly. Your resistance has been instructive. The Alliance Council has authorized me to discuss terms for mutual disengagement. General Marcus nodded. We've demonstrated our commitment to defending our planet, but we're equally committed to finding peaceful resolutions when possible. Before we discuss specific terms, Dr. Emily interjected, We need to address the fundamental misunderstanding that led to this conflict. Rax's tendrils twitched in surprise. Misunderstanding. The Alliance conquest protocols are quite straightforward. That's precisely the problem, Tom said, speaking for the first time. You approached Earth as if it were a technical problem to be solved, rather than a living community to be engaged. Lieutenant Dell, who had accompanied Rax as a cultural liaison, tilted her head curiously. You're suggesting our entire strategic approach was flawed from conception. Your invasion strategy was perfectly rational within your cultural framework, Tom explained. But that framework itself contains assumptions about progress, intelligence, and the relationship between biological and artificial systems that we don't share. Dr. Emily projected a comparative analysis. Your civilization has pursued optimization and efficiency as primary values. Ours has maintained diversity, adaptability, and complementary strengths as equally important. The display showed side-by-side comparisons, Alliance worlds with their perfectly optimized urban centers and standardized systems contrasted with Earth's seemingly chaotic variety of approaches, architectures, and solutions. Your efficiency served you well in stable conditions, General Marcus noted. Our adaptability served us better under threat. Different evolutionary pressures, different solutions. Rax considered this perspective. You're suggesting that the Alliance's technological superiority wasn't undermined by your resistance. It was simply optimized for different conditions than those that emerged during conflict. Precisely, Tom confirmed. And more importantly, we believe both approaches have value. The question isn't which is superior, but how they might complement each other. The conversation shifted from terms of withdrawal to something more profound. An exchange of perspectives on civilization, technology, and progress. The humans presented their vision of complementary intelligence, artificial systems, handling optimization, and biological minds providing creativity, ethical guidance, and adaptability. 5 years after the failed invasion, Admiral Rax, now Ambassador Rax, stood on the observation deck of the Joint Galactic Alliance Earth Orbital Station Convergence. Below, the blue planet rotated serenely, showing little external evidence of the conflict that had nearly consumed it. It's remarkable how quickly they've rebuilt, Commander Vell noted, now serving as Rax's diplomatic attaché, and how thoroughly they've integrated our technology with their approaches. Not just integration, Lieutenant Dell corrected, having become the foremost Alliance expert on human culture. Transformation, both their civilization and ours. The station itself embodied this transformation. Its design combined Alliance efficiency with human ergonomics. Its computer systems featured Alliance processing power guided by human-inspired ethical frameworks. Even its crew structure reflected new organizational principles drawn from both traditions. The council meeting begins in 30 minutes, Dell reminded them. The human representatives have already arrived. Rax nodded. This vote will determine the future direction of our relationship. The initial exchange agreements had expanded rapidly as both civilizations discovered unexpected benefits in their collaboration. Alliance worlds had begun experimenting with human approaches to AI development, creating systems that enhanced rather than replaced biological contributions. Human societies had adopted Alliance efficiency protocols, but modified to preserve cultural diversity and individual agency. The pending vote would formalize this relationship, creating a new category in Alliance structure. Collaborative partner rather than subordinate member. It was unprecedented, controversial, and potentially revolutionary. As they made their way to the council chamber, they passed research laboratories where mixed teams of human and Alliance scientists worked on joint projects. In engineering sections, human intuitive design complemented Alliance technical precision. In the agricultural domes, Earth's biodiversity was being studied for insights that had eluded the Alliance's optimization-focused approaches. Who would have imagined this outcome when we first entered Earth's orbit? Vell mused. The humans might have, Dell suggested. Their cultural artifacts, their science fiction, had imagined countless possible relationships between species and civilizations. Their minds were prepared for possibilities our more structured thinking had never considered. The council chamber itself was a symbolic space. The traditional Alliance hierarchical arrangement had been replaced with a circular design where all representatives sat as equals. Today's session would include participants from 20 Alliance worlds and 12 Earth nations. As Rex took his position, he reflected on the journey that had brought them here. What had begun as a routine conquest had evolved into the most significant philosophical and cultural exchange in Alliance history. The humans entered, led by familiar faces: General Marcus, now Earth's security coordinator; Dr. Emily, heading the Xenobiology exchange program; and Tom, who had emerged as a key diplomatic philosopher despite his lack of formal credentials. Before we begin the formal vote, Tom addressed the gathering. "I'd like to acknowledge the remarkable journey that brought us to this moment. 5 years ago, we were enemies locked in conflict. Today, we're partners building a future neither of us could have created alone." The displays around the chamber showed evidence of this partnership. New medical treatments developed through combined research. Environmental restoration projects using Alliance technology, guided by Earth's ecological understanding. Educational systems that blended Alliance efficiency with human creativity. "We arrived believing we had nothing to learn from Earth," Rax acknowledged. "We departed having discovered that advancement doesn't follow a single path. The fusion of our different approaches has created possibilities neither civilization could have reached independently." The formal vote was nearly unanimous. The new partnership framework would establish protocols for ongoing exchange while preserving the independence and unique perspectives of both civilizations. As the session concluded, Rax found himself standing with Tom near the observation window, Earth visible below them. "There's an old human concept called the fusion of horizons," Tom explained. "It suggests that when different perspectives meet meaningfully, the result isn't domination or compromise, but something new that expands both original viewpoints."